Safari on Mac OS gets uBlock Origin.
I was just talking about that this morning. I wasn't sure if it did.
Yep, it doesn't.
Interesting.
And I also heard you mentioning that your Chromebook immediately, when it synchronized got its updates, that came in.
Yep.
So for our listeners who don't know, we did a podcast number 523. So here we are at 599. So that was more than a year ago. I think it was like maybe September of 2016, something like that. Anyway, it's podcast number 523 for those who don't know and want to go back and bring themselves fully up to speed. I was a holdout for NoScript, which is what I've been using for years, but it was just becoming too big a problem to have scripting disabled by default. So the big change for me was dropping NoScript and switching to uBlock Origin. We have full coverage in 523, but I'll just mention that it has now for a long time been supported by the Chromium-based browsers, meaning Chrome and Opera, by the Firefox-based browsers, so Firefox on Android, SeaMonkey, Pale Moon, and anything else derived from Firefox. Firefox does support an extra feature in uBlock Origin, which is not available in the Chromium browsers just because they lack the required feature in the API, which is script tag filtering, which is as Gorhill says, is of great help to foil attempts by many websites to circumvent ad blockers. So this prevents circumvention. There is a Debian apt-get build that someone named Sean Whitten has produced for Debian 9 and later, and Ubuntu 16.04 and later, which makes it very easy to add that to Linux. It's also supported under Microsoft's Edge. Until now, has not been available for Safari on Mac OS. It is now. It's available for download on GitHub. You might want to give it a few weeks to settle and stabilize because it's very new. But essentially, Gorhill takes exception to us calling it an ad blocker. He says it is not an ad blocker. It is a wide spectrum blocker, which happens to be able to function as he puts it, a mirror ad blocker as well. The default behavior of uBlock Origin when newly installed is to block ads, trackers, and malware sites. And it strongly leverages the publicly curated lists, Easy List, Easy Privacy, Peter Lowe's ad tracking malware servers and various lists of malware sites and its own filter lists. And he deliberately does not take donations, but he says if you feel compelled to support this, then support the teams that are doing this list building, because that's a public social service essentially, which his engine uses to drive its selections. So anyway, it's great to see it come to Safari. And it's funny, I've been running for a while. I just sort of not noticed that I didn't have any blocker on my iOS Safari until I hit a site a couple days ago that was just intolerably obnoxious with ads. And I thought, don't I have one blocker turned on? And it turns out for some reason, I turned it off. Probably some site was saying, oh, please don't block us. And I thought, okay, fine. Anyway, I turned it back on because it was just like, it was impossible to use this site. They were like bouncing windows jumping around in front of me. I said, okay, this is just ridiculous. So uBlock Origin is what we now recommend. And obviously, Leo, you have remained a fan of it.
I still use it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm mixed feelings about using an ad blocker, but at least on the air, I don't think it's inappropriate for me to keep that on,